Okay, we are at a place called the Wine Library in Bartow, Florida, which was started the month that I left Bartow and headed for Sedalia, Missouri. Today is Groundhog Day in beautiful downtown Bartow, Florida. And we have found a treat at the local antique and junk shop. Two Dr. Seuss books. These two Dr. Seuss books were produced in the 1970s by Crest Prell Wondra. They are web press. They're run off on newsprint, a way to make some money. And it's very interesting because this one, Did I Ever Tell You How Lucky You Are? This one says, copyright 1973 by Dr. Seuss. Did I ever tell you how lucky you are? Summary. Compared to the problem of some creatures, the old man describes that the boy is really quite lucky. This book with love is for Philip the Jackson. Okay, so that's this one, which is a 1973 Dr. Seuss publication. Now this one, Horton Hatches the Egg, if we go for our library wisdom here, copyright 1940 by Dr. Seuss, copyright renewed 1968 by Dr. Seuss, distributed in Canada, and this is a first printing of this particular web press job. So we know Horton Hatches the Egg pretty well, but I never heard of Did I Ever Tell You How Lucky You Are? So we're going to enjoy Groundhog Day in beautiful downtown Bartow. There's the little Bartow post office on Summerlin Street. And we're going to enjoy a little children's book reading. Did I Ever Tell You How Lucky You Are? By Dr. Seuss. The first page has a goofy little animal coming out of the ground. And it says Random House, New York. This book with love is for Philip the Jackson. Now, we have a desert landscape with crafty cacti and some copy. This is not the best recording means, but when I was quite young and quite small for my size, I met an old man in the desert of Dries. And he sang me a song I will never forget. At least, well, I haven't forgotten it yet. So we're in the desert of Dries. Ooh. So here's a man sitting on a cactus, and here's the boy who is telling the story. And he's standing on some kind of rocky outcropping. And that looks like the desert where Carrie and Sarah have been. He sat in a terribly prickly place, but he sang with a sunny, sweet smile on his face. That's kind of like me on dialysis singing songs. He sang with a sunny, sweet smile on his face. When you think things are bad, when you feel sour and blue, when you start to get mad, you should do what I do. Just tell yourself, Ducky, you're really quite lucky. Some people are much more. Oh, ever so much more. Oh, muchly, much, much more unlucky than you. That's the Desert of Dries. D-R-I-Z-E, which is sort of a play on the word dry. So this is a place where there's a lot of dry. And this guy's sitting on a prickly cactus. A terribly prickly place. Next page. So the man is telling the boy, now what we have here is this crazy set of bridges and contraptions and things that are getting stuck together clearly over the water. Over the water. There's pilings and there's boats and there's stanchions and there's a road, kind of a road being built. They're building a bridge in this image. And they're setting things up and figuring out how to connect the pieces of the bridge. That's the image. Chuff, 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 chuff. There's mechanical things going along here, and there's cranes, and there's derricks, and there's hooks and stuff. Be glad you don't work on the Bungle Bung Bridge that they're building across Boober Bay at Bum Ridge. They're building across Boober Bay at Bum Ridge. It's a troublesome world. All the people who are in it are troubled with troubles almost every minute. You ought to be thankful a whole heaping lot for the places and people you're lucky you've got. You could be working on the Bungle Bum Bridge over Boober Bay at Bum Ridge. This guy here looks a little bit troubled. And these people are trying to work together. Dr. Seuss at his best. 1973. Okay, here's the next one. What are the other things that you should be glad that you're not? Now this is people traveling together at a crossroads, carrying various things, riding along on roads, carrying lots of watermelons, carrying people, and all converging together on these little roads, and children in wagons crying, and people conversing together about stuff going on, a bunch of trash cans being hauled, piles of heffalumps, and people riding in different directions at this big crossroads. Very complicated drawing. Just suppose, for example, you lived in Gazette. Just suppose, for example, you lived in Gazette and got caught in that traffic on Zate Highway 8. This is a picture of being caught in traffic. Imagine, you could be stuck in traffic right now. Next. Now, what is this? This is a bizarre collection of buildings and houses and bridges and stairways, and we're calling this Gazette. Or suppose, for instance, you lived in Gazaire. Oh, that's Gazaire. That's a town called Gazaire. Or suppose, for example, you lived in Gazaire with your bedroom up here and your bathroom up there. Oh my gosh. What if your bedroom was here and then your bathroom was way up there? You had to go down all these stairways and then this way and then that way and then go up all these stairways and then go all the way up there to where your bathroom is. Suppose you lived in Gazaire where your bedroom was here and your bathroom was there, and you had to travel all this way just to get to relieve yourself. That's Gazaire. Now, this book is quite a few pages. I mean, like a lot. Now, what the heck is this? Just suppose, you were poor Herbie Hart, who has taken his thromdimulator apart. Dimbulator apart. He never will get it together, I'm sure. He never will know if the glick or the gore fits into the skrunks or the snunks or the snore. Yes, Ducky, you're lucky you're not Herbie Hart, who has taken his thromdimbulator apart. Oh my gosh, he took this thing apart and he doesn't know how to put it back together. It's a thromdimbulator and it's all taken apart and he doesn't know how to put it back together. The poor guy, even his little kitty cat, is looking sad and confused because he doesn't know how to put it back together. There's some people that have taken things apart and they don't know how to put them back together. It's even got a kind of clock face thing on it. That's a thromdimbulator. Uh-oh, now what's this? Do you think they work you too hard? Do you think they work you too hard? Think of poor Ali Sard. He has to mow grass in his uncle's backyard. And it's quick growing grass, and it grows as he mows it. The faster he mows it, the faster he grows it. And all that his stingy uncle will pay for his mowing that mower around in that hay is the piffless pay of 2 duklas a day, and Ali can't live on such piffless pay. Here's the poor guy. He is mowing this enormous lawn, and he's just mowing and mowing and mowing, and the lawn is super enormous, and it just keeps growing and growing, and he's never paid enough. You could be that guy. So, he has to paint flagpoles on Sundays in Grooms. How lucky you are that you don't live in his shoes. So here's the same guy, the lawnmower guy, painting flagpoles on Sundays. Now, we're going to take a pause and pick up this book later on. Happy Groundhog Day from Bartow, Florida. Warm and lovely. The Wine Library, Bartow. Yahoo!